It all started with a letter. A simple envelope slipped into her mailbox, unsigned and mysterious. But as the words inside unraveled before her eyes, so did the boundaries between her past and present, her heart and her mind. Sarah Evans lived a quiet, predictable life. Her days were spent working at the local bookstore, her evenings curled up with a good novel and a cup of tea. She had always preferred the company of books to people, finding comfort in the certainty of printed words. But all of that was about to change. One evening, after a long shift at the bookstore, Sarah arrived home to find something unusual waiting for her. A cream-colored envelope, carefully placed among the usual stack of bills and junk mail. There was no return address, no name, only her own address printed in elegant script. Curious, she opened it. Inside was a single sheet of paper, filled with the same delicate handwriting. Dear Sarah, I've admired you from afar for some time now. Your grace, your kindness, the way you lose yourself in the pages of a book. It captivates me. I know this might seem strange, receiving a letter from someone you don't know, but I've wanted to reach out for so long. Perhaps in time, you'll understand why. Yours truly, a secret admirer. Sarah blinked, reading the letter again to make sure she hadn't imagined it. A secret admirer? She looked around her empty apartment, a nervous smile tugging at the corners of her lips. Who could this possibly be? She couldn't think of anyone in her life who would send something like this. Her social circle was small, and romance had never been a priority. She tucked the letter into a drawer, dismissing it as an odd prank, but a small part of her couldn't shake the mystery. The next day at the bookstore, her thoughts kept drifting back to the letter. Could it be someone she worked with, a regular customer? Her colleague, Emma, noticed her distraction. You seem off today, Emma remarked, shelving a stack of novels. Everything okay? Sarah hesitated. She didn't want to make a big deal out of nothing. I got a weird letter yesterday from a secret admirer. Emma's eyes lit up with curiosity. Oh, how romantic. Do you have any idea who it could be? Sarah shook her head. No, and I'm not sure if I even want to know. It's a little strange, don't you think? Emma shrugged. Maybe, but it's also kind of exciting. A little mystery in your life isn't such a bad thing. Sarah smiled, but the uncertainty lingered. Mystery or not, she wasn't used to the idea of someone watching her, knowing her habits, her preferences. Yet beneath the discomfort, there was a flicker of intrigue. Who could this person be? Over the next few days, the letters continued to arrive. Each one was filled with heartfelt words, expressing admiration for the small details of her life. How she always took her tea with 2 sugars. How she hummed softly to herself when browsing the bookstore shelves. How she smiled kindly at the elderly customers who came in every afternoon. The writer seemed to know everything about her, even things she had never noticed about herself. Dear Sarah, there is something about the way you see the world, the way your eyes light up when you discover a new story. That makes me feel like I know you better than you know yourself. I hope these letters aren't too forward. I simply wanted you to know how much you're appreciated, even from a distance. Yours truly, a secret admirer. As the letters piled up, Sarah found herself growing less anxious and more curious. She started looking for clues, anything that might give away the identity of the sender. But each letter was carefully written, offering no details about the writer's identity, only more questions. One evening, after receiving the 5th letter, she sat down with her best friend, Claire, hoping for some insight. Sarah, confused, voice shaky. I don't get it. How does this person know so much about me? It's like they're watching me all the time. But I never see anyone out of the ordinary. Claire, Playful, teasing. Maybe it's someone you see every day, but just don't notice. Maybe it's that cute guy who always comes in for coffee and a mystery novel. Sarah laughs softly. Or maybe it's someone I haven't seen in years. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like I'm in the middle of some strange love story. But it was more than a love story. As the letters continued, they began to hint at things from Sarah's past. Things she hadn't thought about in years. Memories of her childhood, her family, the time before she moved to the city. The writer seemed to know not only the woman she was now, but also the girl she had once been. Dear Sarah, I remember when you used to spend summers at your grandmother's house. You loved the lilac garden, didn't you? You would sit there for hours, lost in your imagination. I think that's when I first started admiring you. From afar, yes, but always with the deepest affection. I hope you still find peace in moments like those. Yours truly, a secret admirer. Sarah's breath caught as she read the letter. How could this person possibly know about the lilac garden? It had been years since she'd thought about her grandmother's house, let alone spoken about it. Whoever this was, they weren't just watching her now. They had been a part of her life long before the letters began. Determined to find answers, Sarah started investigating. She pored over old photos, trying to recall anyone from her past who might have harbored such feelings for her. She even went back to her grandmother's house, now abandoned, hoping to find some clue there. But the more she searched, the more elusive the truth became. The letters kept arriving, and with each one, Sarah felt herself being drawn deeper into the mystery. The writer's words touched her in ways she hadn't expected, awakening emotions she hadn't allowed herself to feel in years. There was a tenderness, a vulnerability in their letters that made her long to meet this person face to face. Dear Sarah, I've kept my distance for so long, but the truth is, I've always wanted to be close to you. I've admired your strength, your kindness, your resilience. But more than that, I've admired your heart. I hope, in time, you'll understand why I've chosen to remain anonymous for now. There are things I need to tell you. Things about your past and about mine. Yours truly, a secret admirer. The tone of the letters shifted. There was something deeper now, something more personal. The writer seemed to be building toward a confession, something that would explain everything. Sarah's curiosity turned into obsession. She began to spend her evenings thinking of nothing but the letters, the identity of the writer, and the secrets they promised to reveal. One night, after receiving yet another letter, Sarah made a decision. She would write back. Dear secret admirer, I've been receiving your letters for some time now, and while I've been touched by your words, I can't help but wonder who you are. You've shared so much with me, yet I still don't know you. If you care for me as much as you say, please, meet me. Yours, Sarah. She slipped the letter into her mailbox, hoping it would reach the mysterious writer. Days passed, with no response, and just when she thought she might never hear from them again, a new letter arrived. Dear Sarah, I wasn't sure if I would ever have the courage to meet you. But your letter changed that. There's something you need to know, something I've been waiting years to tell you. Meet me at the Lilac Garden, tomorrow at dusk. I'll be there. Yours truly, a secret admirer. Sarah's heart raced. The Lilac Garden, it felt like a dream, a perfect culmination of everything the letters had been leading to. The next evening, she found herself standing in the very spot where she had spent so many summers as a child. The scent of lilacs filled the air, and for a moment, she was overwhelmed with nostalgia. And then she saw him. He stepped out from behind the trees, a familiar face from her past. It was David, her childhood friend, the boy who had always been by her side, but whom she had lost touch with after leaving for the city. His eyes were filled with the same warmth she had felt in every letter. I've loved you for as long as I can remember, Sarah. I've watched you grow, watched you become the incredible woman you are today. I didn't know how to tell you, so I started writing. I hoped, somehow, you'd see me the way I've always seen you. As Sarah and David stood together amidst the lilacs, the weight of the past and the promise of the future mingled in the evening air. Their reunion was not just a resolution of mystery, but a rekindling of a deep, enduring bond. David, softly, earnestly, I've missed you more than words can say, all those years apart, and yet I've carried you with me. Sarah, teary-eyed, smiling, I had no idea. I was swept up in the letters, trying to uncover the mystery, never realizing it was you all along. David, gently holding her hands, I wanted to reconnect with you, but I needed to do it in a way that felt right. The letters were my way of showing you how much you've always meant to me, even when we were apart. Sarah felt a wave of emotions, relief, joy, and a bittersweet sense of nostalgia. The lilac garden, a symbol of her childhood, now became the backdrop of her rediscovered love. The days that followed were filled with newfound intimacy. Sarah and David spent time reminiscing about their shared past, rediscovering the places they had once cherished, and building new memories together. The letters had served their purpose. They had bridged the gap between their hearts and minds, rekindling a love that had never truly faded. Sarah's life, once defined by the quiet routine of her bookstore and solitary evenings, was now vibrant with the presence of David. Their connection went beyond the romantic. It was a reunion of two souls who had once shared everything. One day, as they walked through the city streets hand in hand, David stopped by a quaint cafe and pulled out a small, familiar envelope from his pocket. David, smiling, I've been saving something for you. I thought you might like to see it. Sarah looked at the envelope, recognizing it as one of the ones from the letters. She took it with a mix of excitement and curiosity, carefully opening it. Inside was a final letter, written in David's familiar handwriting. Dear Sarah, I know our story has taken many unexpected turns, but I want you to know that my feelings for you have always been genuine. I've loved you from afar and up close, through every letter and every shared memory. I'm grateful for every moment we've had, and for the chance to start anew with you. Here's to the next chapter of our story. Together, yours forever, David. Sarah's heart swelled as she read the letter, her eyes meeting David's with a mixture of love and gratitude. Sarah, emotional, eyes shining. This letter, it's perfect. Thank you for every word, every gesture. You've made me feel truly seen and loved. David embraced her, his heart full of joy and relief. In the end, the anonymous letters were more than just messages from a secret admirer. They were a catalyst for change, a journey that led Sarah and David back to each other. The mystery of the letters had brought them closer, revealing the enduring power of love and the beauty of rediscovering someone who had always been a part of your heart. Their love story, enriched by the lessons of the past and the promise of the future, continued to flourish. The lilac garden, once a place of childhood dreams, became a symbol of their renewed commitment and shared journey. And so, Sarah and David embraced their new beginning with open hearts, cherishing the memories that had brought them together and looking forward to the adventures that lay ahead. The letters had revealed more than just a secret admirer. They had unveiled the true depth of their love, hidden in plain sight all along. This continuation wraps up the story, focusing on the emotional resolution and the future of Sarah and David's relationship. It maintains a reflective and warm tone, fitting for a faceless story channel.